And you know, if you're doing a pie show, you can't do a pie show without an apple pie.
Oh, good.
Because what is more American than apple pie, right?
And mom.
And mom. And so we're going to go over there with Julie. As a matter of fact, I think the apple pie maker brought her mom today. So how
Oh,
about
really?
that?
That's nice.
Anyway, we're going to go over and visit with Julie right now, see who's in the kitchen with a great apple
I'm
pie
gonna eat
recipe.
more of this.
Well, I am in the kitchen right now with Jackie Schaefer,
Hello.
who joins us. And Jackie is one of those people who saw our call for recipes, and she sent in a couple of different recipes and was chosen to come on the show and prepare one of them. And this one is going to be the crunchy apple pie.
Crunchy caramel.
Crunchy caramel, but it has apples in it too.
Yes, of course.
Now, I know you work, you grew up in Garfield Heights, and you're working full time, and you were saying you don't have a lot of time to cook,
No.
but you still like to make this. Why is this one of your favorite recipes?
Because I think it's pretty fast, and I'm all into the store-bought pie crusts, and just because it's easy and fast, and I don't have a lot of time to cook, but I do, and I like sweet apple pies. I don't like tart. I don't like really sort of bitter-tasting berry pies, although that first pie looked really good. Looked really good. So mine is a sweeter, a much sweeter apple pie.
So you know this is going to be a sweet recipe, and when I saw this, we've got caramel sundae syrup as one of our ingredients. I knew this was going to be a really sweet dessert.
Yes.
So if you love sweet pies, you're going to love this one. And let's get started here.
Okay. Well, this pie has a crumble crust as opposed to the traditional regular crust, I guess. So we've got some brown sugar and some flour.
And I should say your mom is here, but she's standing
She
off
is in the
camera,
corner.
so she's not coming
Yeah.
out, but she's here for moral
And I
support.
have to say, she made my crust today because I don't think she wanted me on TV with the store-bought. Yeah.
There's your wave, you're on.
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
Jackie's mom.
And then oats. Well, I love oats. I cook with a lot of oats, dried oats or cooked oats. Is that what they call them? I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean,
sure.
should they be, you know, there's the quick oats or
Quick
the
oats.
traditional.
Yeah,
Can
just
you use the quick ones?
The Quaker.
Okay.
In the tub or whatever. Yeah. So what do I use? I'll just use the
wait, I
knife
have-
and butter.
We've got that.
And then I found this. Usually I just use my hands for this, but then I found this wonderful pastry cutter thing that just sort of. I guess real chefs know how to use these things and know that they exist, but it keeps your hands from getting dirty and sticky and yucky. So it kind of cuts the butter up and makes it a crumbly crust. So we've got the oats, the flour, the butter, and the brown sugar. And so it's just 4 ingredients.
Your cutter looks kind of high tech. Like I have one for my grandmother that looks like 3 coat hangers put together with a little wooden handle.
And again, you know,
Or
you don't need one of these.
fingers, so-
Use your fingers. You know, I think that works almost just as well. But again, for television, I don't want to.
You didn't want to have to be wiping your
I didn't want to have to
hands.
be wiping my hands. No, and for if you're concerned about sanitation or whatever that term is. So then you just put this aside, your crumble crust.
Okay, so we'll put this aside.
And that
to
goes on
use a
before
little
you
later.
bake it, right? So then you have a bunch of apples, and this recipe works really well with Fuji and Golden Delicious, I found.
Okay.
But you can also use Jonathan's, which actually baked on really well too. And I don't know that much about apples.
But you found what works for you.
Yeah.
And you have our fanciest gadget so
Yeah,
far
I love
of the
this.
day.
And again, it takes forever to peel and cut
Right.
and slice. So we're going to see if this works. I'm not sure if this will work very well. It did work backstage for the first few ones. So it peels, it cores, and it slices it all at one time. And I feel like I'm selling a product now. But it's fat. And
Is
again,
this a new toy for
this
you?
is, I've had it for
Oh
a
my
while.
gosh, look at that.
Yeah, so it makes the whole process so much faster. So now it cores it.
Where did you get that?
It's a Pampered Chef product.
Okay,
So, but I
but you
know
can
you can
find
buy
this
it
at
at cooking
different-
stores. Yeah.
Oh, let's do another one because that really is cool.
It is fun. I think these Fuji apples are a little mealy, so sometimes they don't work as well. But I do know the Jonathan apples look really great on this.
Okay, here, we're gonna try
So this
this
is a
one.
Golden Delicious, and we'll see how this works.
We're doing a little
But
experiment
this makes
here.
me, you know what, and this makes it go so much faster. I mean, look at, and you know what, it saves a lot of the apple. There's not that, all of that waste.
Oh yeah, because really the worst part, well, as you know, when you're making apple pie, is just standing there doing all the peeling and the coring and slicing it up.
Exactly, and you know, you can't even cut your apple before it's brown.
Right,
you know?
that's
So, knife.
Okay,
So, and then all I gotta
so
do is cut it in 4s.
if you have one of these, great, and if not, you can just slice it up the old-fashioned
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
Peel
But it
it.
is
I'm
a
gonna put
really
this
great
over.
tool for those who just don't like the time that is spent. And
Now-
this pie works really good, I'll mention, as a crisp. So you can just not use the crust at all and just butter a baking dish and pour all your ingredients in there and bake it just the same way you would the pie.
Now we heard earlier from Catherine that she puts lemon juice on the peaches to keep them from turning brown. Is that what you have to do? For
I
your
do that
apples
here.
too?
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know how well that works, but yeah, and I never thought of putting it on peaches.
The peaches?
Yeah. So you've got your apples, and I think this is pretty standard for an apple pie. You've got sugar and cinnamon, and I always add more cinnamon because I like cinnamon. And I also add usually a little bit more sugar too.
Well, you said you like
I like
it
it sweet, right? And then a few tablespoons of the flour and just a pinch of the salt.
And you know, all of the proportions are going to be in the cookbook when you give us a
Right.
call. And you have another recipe in the cookbook, don't
I
you?
do.
Banana?
It's a banana cream pie with homemade homemade vanilla pudding.
Ooh, yum.
And you know, again, I'm all into quick recipes, and because I do like to cook, just not having a lot of time to do it. But once you make homemade pudding, you don't go back to the pot. I can't. It's so good, and it's another fast recipe. So
So, see, 2 of Jackie's recipes are in this cookbook.
yes. So again, I usually add a little bit of extra sugar on this because.
You don't want it tart.
And then if you know what, and if you make this and have young children, or if you like to pick on the apple slices that are cinnamon, you might want to add a few more apples in there.
So you can snack
So you
while
can
you're
snack
cooking.
while you're doing this, right? And then this goes all into the pie crust.
And this is the crust that Jackie's mom made.
I know, isn't it gorgeous? This is a gift I don't have.
But you can use that pie crust recipe that Catherine showed us earlier that
Which
was
also
all
looked
in the
good.
food processor. Or as Peg said, sometimes she cheats and buys the store-bought crust,
Yeah.
and that's okay too. Whatever you have time for,
Oh yeah.
put it together. You're piling that up nice and high.
And it
Oh, that
it
smells
bakes
good.
down. It'll bake down a little bit. And then the crumble crust.
Okay.
And then
So
you just
again-
kind of use your fingers to spread it around.
And as Jackie said, if you don't want to use the crust at all, just put this into a buttered baking dish and put the topping on top, and you can have like an apple crisp or apple crumb.
And I'm one
That's
also
good.
who also likes, I like the crumb topping more than the regular crust topping. Because again,
'Cause it's
sweet. It's sweet.
It's more sugar.
I do. And I usually add more oats. Look, so I don't always follow the recipe direct.
Well,
I
you
like
can adjust it
oats
the way you
and-
like it.
Yeah, so I usually add extra sugar, extra cinnamon.
Oh, that looks great. And now, you know, you can get apples all year round from all
Yeah,
over the
oh,
place. So
yeah.
you can make fresh apple pie whenever you want
I make
to.
this, and this is a great pie for the holidays. And then you bake it, and again, if you put the tin foil, I don't know if anybody else has the tin foil around, you bake it for 25 minutes with some tin foil around
And
the
are you gonna
edges.
put the
so that
nuts?
when it comes out of the oven,
Okay, we're gonna take
when
a look
it's
at that.
steaming hot, you sprinkle some nuts, and you can use pecans or walnuts. And then, of course, I think it calls for not as much caramel as I actually use. Again, Jackie likes it sweet.
So you take it out. How long do you bake it?
You bake it for a total of 55 minutes.
Okay, and then you sprinkle the nuts on and you put your caramel sauce on top,
Yes.
and this is what you end up with. And we are ready to plate this up and have a little taste and send it over to Kent and Peg.
And again, if you have children with nut allergies, you can just keep the nuts off. It's just as good. Always add more caramel.
Yeah. You can make up for that. And we have about 30 seconds left,
Oh.
and we are right on schedule here.
And
Oh, it almost looks like a pecan pie
It
with
does,
the topping.
doesn't it?
The way it's
Yeah.
all come together.
now let's see if I can do this with
Oh,
any type
look
of.
at that.
Eek.
Oh, well, Ken, I'm going to taste yours because they're wrapping us up, and then we'll keep plating it. But I've got to taste this topping because I love crumble toppings
Oh,
too.
good,
and this
good,
one
good.
looks really sweet and crunchy. So we're sending it over, but here is a little preview of what you guys are going to have. Oh, that is heavenly.
Do you want more caramel?
Do you want more caramel? I'm going to put a little more caramel on it. It's not quite sweet enough here. But we'll send it over. This is absolutely delicious. And Jackie, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. We'll shake hands with the pie crust hands.
Thank you.
Thanks to Jackie's mom. And call in. It's another winner. And Kent and Peg, it's on the way.
You know, you give Julie permission once to taste your pie, and it's like
she
blanket
just-
permission
I
for the
know.
whole show.
You'll be lucky to get any of this pie
I think
by the
so.
time Julie's done.
Boy,
That
it-
looks fabulous,
Oh.
doesn't it?
And I love caramel. I
Do ya?
love caramel. I love apple pie. I love a lot of food, as you can tell.
You do love food. So do I, though.
This looked fabulous.
Oh.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
very
thank
much.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, boy, look at that.
You want to go first?
I would be delighted
now,
to.
this recipe and over 200 others are going to be in the cookbook. When you call the number that you see on your screen, you will get this recipe and a couple hundred others. Kent is in heaven. He's not moving. He's just sitting there, unable to speak.
It is really, really good. It is really sweet. It's a sweet pie, but it is fabulous.
So that means that it would go a long way.
Excuse me,
actually.
why don't you keep talking about that
I
cookbook
mean,
there
if you
again?
had, if you had a big
Wow.
crowd to feed, a little piece would go fine. Except you're almost done with this piece right
a
now.
big piece goes fine, too.
Yeah. This is one of, as I said, a couple hundred that will come your way.
What a
And
unique apple pie.
Is it now? Can I try it
Yeah,
finally?
please
Would
do.
you please talk so I can
Oh.
try it? Okay.
It is so good. Now, if you just tuned in, what you're watching is P is for Pie here on WVIZ PBS. It's a WVIZ PBS Cook Special. Isn't it good?
Excellent.
As I said, I love caramel. The crunchiness is great. The
Yeah, it
apples
is.
are wonderful. It's just it's just kind of a twist on the traditional apple
This
pie.
is really good. This
Really
is really,
good.
really good.
I think we were just saying that about the onion pie a
We
minute
were.
ago, but I got a hunch this whole show is going to end up this way with these wonderful dishes cooked in crusts, basically. That's what it's all about. Something that's wrapped in a crust.
But you know, that's the whole point of these shows. People send in the recipes that they enjoy themselves and that their families love.
And that's it.
And so you know that, first of all, they're probably going to be pretty easy because people are putting them on the table or they're going to be at their restaurant, whichever the case may be, and so it can't be too difficult. And then you know that these are their favorites. They are ones that their family loves, or that maybe were handed down to them from grandma or whatever, or adapted from another cookbook. I've seen some recipes in here that say, I got this from Gourmet, but then I played around with it and made it mine. And so I think that's really, really special. The number's on your screen. Give us a call, and you think you could talk a little.
You know what happens to me occasionally?
You eat?
Well, when we're doing these shows, you get caught up in eating a dish, and this is going to sound corny, but you forget you're doing a television show. And that just happened to me a minute ago. I was just sitting here eating, enjoying, listening to what you had to say, and realized, oops, this is good, folks. It really is. It's the caramel apple crunchy pie, and it's a wonderful crust again. But as we keep saying, make your own if you want to. Buy them from a store. Experiment with both. There's ways to do that.